All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for My Hero Academia, Season 4, Episode 14. Well, I think the Overhaul versus Deku fight is over.
Yeah, it's...
It might not be. You never know.
It's
the man
over.
can regenerate. But I think it's over.
Nah,
It's pretty much over.
it's done.
It's done.
It's done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Night Eye has come to the realization that the future can possibly be changed. Or the futures he sees could potentially be changed.
Oh man. But that last episode is so good. Like, there's a part of me that's almost like, what can they even do here? Because this is going to be like the resolution of just sort of, I'm guessing everything quieting down. We'll probably get a new OP since we're past the 13th episode. You know, but like, what even happens now? Like,
Eri.
Yeah, Eri.
What do you do with the girl that has a quirk of this nature that's a mutation?
Yes.
And
what do you do with Overhaul?
I have been corrected that the mutation aspect is not as rare as something that it never happens. It's more of that it rarely happens in the same way that someone being quirkless is kind of rare, because Deku tried to explain away his quirk as being a mutation of sorts. So thanks for that feedback there. That was really good.
Yep.
But yeah. Epilogue stuff to this whole stuff with Overhaul. And then also the League of Villains, potentially.
Right.
Yeah.
Potentially.
So, y'all, without further ado, let's get into this. All right, everyone, now be sure to go check out the reaction portion of the video in the description below, and then come back here for the discussion. Wow.
Okay.
Night Eye.
Night Eye's gone.
Night Eye is gone.
Is that the first death we've had in MHA? Other than, like, the previous one for all Holder, of course.
There have been other deaths, I think, but they've not been as big of characters, I think.
Oh, yeah, right, because, Yep. Magni got pasted.
Yeah. No, we've had other deaths. It's just, this is an arc in which there have been many near deaths, and now a lot more actual deaths. And in some ways, this is the fastest a character has been introduced before they had died. It's pretty rough. As a character, what made Night Eye so easy to connect to emotionally was primarily his connection back to All Might. And that past that they shared together. But there was this other aspect in that Night Eye embodied a lot of aspects of what are within the core themes of MHA.
Right.
What does it mean to be a hero?
Yep.
And he had a lot of unique vision on what it meant to be a hero that also represents the idea of hero society, the best parts of it to everyone else. So, you know, humor and good nature and all this stuff. And yet, you know, his one student who embodied the perfect example of this, Miria, was in some ways the prime example of what hero society is meant to be. Like a good, earnest,
good kid
that wants to help and wants to help everyone, and will take the hit themselves at every opportunity before someone else. So the fact that both Night Eye dies and Mirio loses his quirk, and then Night Eye gives his now quirkless student the prophecy of sorts, saying you're going to be an amazing hero. You're going to be a hero unlike anyone else. It's just it's just so heartwarming, because we've had multiple times where we got to see someone kind of get a Deku All Might kind of situation, where either Deku is All Might to them and saves them in a unique way, but we've not really had a passing of the torch in this final of a way ever, really, in MHA, other than really All Might giving his quirk to Deku. Or maybe maybe the end of All Might as a hero when he fought All for One. What do you say? Now it's your turn.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't have anything else to say about that.
I don't really either. I feel like this episode was something that was sort of it was a winding down episode after the insanity of all the previous ones, and then kind of setting the stage for what's going to happen next. In that, League of Villains got the anti-quirk bullets, and got away scot-free. Like it went perfectly for them. Yeah.
Which is a rather cool way to do this. In a meta sense, there are a lot of things about this arc that when you look at it rather closely, you realize, it had to go this way.
Sure.
Like, Overhaul couldn't have been a great overarching villain.
Right, yeah, because he was just introduced. So
he was just introduced.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
He doesn't have ties back to the original cast.
Yep.
So, yeah, that's a big thing there.
And
Night Eye, in a lot of ways, couldn't have... Well, no, he could have, actually. No, he could have. But in a lot of ways, there needed to be something that would be consequential with regards to this arc, and it would be easier to give those consequences to the characters that were just recently introduced.
Right, and in a lot of ways, it solves one of the potential issues with MHA of introducing characters, getting us to care about them, making them have these really emotional payoff, but then not really being able to follow up on it because the cast just gets bigger and bigger, and it already started big.
And they can only focus on so many characters at once.
Right, exactly. So by having it end in this way where there is a reason, not that all of them have to die, which I'm thankful for, right? Mirio's still alive, but Night Eye died, and Mirio doesn't have a quirk anymore.
Yeah, he essentially got all-mighted.
Yep,
in a lot of
and
ways.
they figured out how to have a reason for why Eri doesn't just go around undoing all the anti-quirkness that went around, because
they were never really going to do that in the immediate sense, but it's something where we can look back on that in the future. Like her quirk was one that was we already knew she couldn't control it. Like, it was something that she was never going to use in the immediate sense here. Like, but yeah, they closed off all the plot lines that were introduced in this arc, and
one of the things that I wasn't quite sure how to take it, how to think about it, was where the wounds on Deku's arm came from, because it almost feels like they're saying these are new wounds because it's just on the one arm, it's not on both.
What are you talking about?
So, during the fight, all of Deku's scars went away.
No, I don't think they did. I think I assumed that they did.
I'm pretty sure he even commented on it. I could be wrong.
No, that's the thing.
I pretty distinctly remember him saying, even my arms are better. Like,
yeah, I think that's something else. I was getting confused with that. The scars and all of the original things there are all things that are from past fights. So anything that he would have been healed from was from wounds and stuff that he got underneath the city from Overhaul. He did not have anything rewound back that
Gotcha.
far. Yeah, just to immediately clarify.
I was really confused by that.
No, it's once they showed us in the beginning of the episode that his scars on his hand and stuff were still there. I'm like, oh, okay, so it wasn't that they healed that.
Gotcha, yeah. So, all right, right, because he was wounded before, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he did get hit with spikes. He got hit with all kinds of stuff.
Okay.
Remember when he was ascending up the bit there? Yep. There were tons of things hitting him.
Oh, definitely, yeah. Okay, but okay, good, because that was something that I was really concerned about. I was like, wait a minute, what's going on?
Yeah. Okay, so this ending kind of bit to the arc, I would say for the most part, also sets up a future bit. Shigaraki handily double tapped Overhaul.
Yes.
And it's almost depressing in some ways because Overhaul, like Stain in a lot of ways, had some interesting points that he needed to make.
Yep. Yep.
And his message might just die here. However, the effort that he put in, the science that was created, that abominable science that was made
that's
down
going
there,
to live on. The implications and ramifications of that will not end anytime soon.
It could mean quite a lot in the future. Now, as to what Shigaraki will do, in some ways, I don't want to know right now.
Sure.
I'd like them to, because they don't have the equivalent kind of like genius in their group there that could, make something to be used with this. So they need to hunker down again, go into hiding and figure out what their actual goals are again.
But that does mean now that anyone that can do infiltration stuff could do infiltration with one of those bullets. Just hit their target and go.
Hello, Toga!
And twice.
Yep. Well, Toga, mate. Yeah, I get you. But Toga has the infiltration quirk in terms of like actually appearing as a hero, whereas Twice needs to know like a lot of. I guess Twice could do it as well.
Yeah, I guess, well, it's one of those things where because they, thankfully, almost, they don't go too much into the details and limitations of all the quirks. Like, for instance, I didn't realize that Overhaul's whole thing was that he had to touch the thing with his hand, right? Like, that was how he always did it, but I always assumed that he just had to touch it, right? So that could have been with anything. So I was really worried when Uraraka got him in the pin. I was like, oh no, she's touching his bare skin. Like, she could get, pulverized. But then it's like, oh no, it's just the hands. So you take out the hands and there you go.
Yeah. So we've got our League of Villains getting a little bit more focus here. When you think about like a future arc here, do you get kind of a feeling of that we haven't introduced anything new here, so that they either follow the natural conclusions from this arc and it kind of bleeds over into the next one? Or do you feel like we'll get a hard kind of shift in focus rather soon, and that will be more delved into in a future episode, because we still have, the other half of the season of MHA to go through here?
I feel like, weirdly enough, they're building up specifically that we're going to get a lot more from Dabi, because he had... because as far as what he's done in this arc specifically, it's been barely anything, right? Because he's just been off doing his own thing because he's not an infiltrator, right?
Dabi.
So he's not really needed. But then at the end here, they did the whole thing of him talking about, oh yeah, you've been killing a bunch of random people, and he's like, yes, you know of me. So maybe that's what they're going.
But he did that with Shigaraki too.
Yeah.
I just feel like Dabi, that was like, that surprised me completely.
Because I don't think they're going to do anything involving the League of Villains in any like climactic final conflict with them, right?
No.
So it seems like it would go more into the, okay, they're biding their time, doing their things in the shadows, but maybe there's certain things that some of them have like personal motives for or whatever. Maybe not.
Then I would put it actually almost entirely in the Toga Twice category.
Oh yeah?
Because they got all the focus.
That's why I didn't think it would be them, because they got a bunch of focus in this one, so then it would revert back to someone else that didn't get much focus.
So
that way it's like balancing it out.
Someone who got the least amount of focus.
Oh God, I hope they never do an arc focused around Spinner.
Yeah. Shigaraki though got a lot of focus, and if anything, I definitely do think that we might be done with the idea of new villain groups that need to be kind of covered here, and we can actually dig a little bit deeper into our League of Villains over the course of time. So stuff with Dabi sounds awesome. Maybe just in the context of the League of Villains as a group.
Sure, yeah.
But yeah, maybe something also that goes a little bit more into the characters themselves as people, not as their role as villains. That could be interesting.
Yeah, because one of the things that always surprised me was when Dabi was introduced, like in earnest in the beginning of season 3, he was introduced as like, I am leading this group of the League of Villains, right? I forget the long name that they used for their group, but
Villain Vanguard Action Squad.
Villain Vanguard Action Squad. Thank you. Yes.
Something like
that. But yeah. But I don't think they're going to be introducing any new villains, right? Like, I don't think they're going to do an overhaul where then someone else gets brought in that has some plan or whatever. Yeah, not immediately, right? There will
be more villains eventually.
There will be more villains eventually, but this next one is going to either not necessarily revolve around villains, or it's going to revolve around villains that have already been introduced. Right, exactly.
Yeah, unless the very next episode we're like, oh no, now we're dealing with actually the government, and how the government is actually now freaking out because something of a quirk destroying nature thing was made out there, and then the League of Villains took the car. So we're freaking out. Where are those things now?
Yeah, but the thing that you brought up that was super important, though, is that they cannot end Eri's story here.
Nope.
From the plot perspective, yes, it's convenient because her quirk causes problems, right? But from the MHA, what does it really mean to be a hero? Saving someone's heart, not just them physically. You absolutely cannot end it here. And the thing is that because this almost feels very like Todoroki kind of, where there's stuff that still needs to happen, but in the case of Todoroki, he's a character that's able to sort of do it on his own. You can leave that into the side, like on the sidelines, and you know that he's working on that. He's reestablishing his relationship with his mother,
right? He's a young man.
Yeah, exactly, right. Whereas Eri, she's a little kid and she's in quarantine.
She's alone.
Yeah,
she has
that's
no
a problem.
That is a
problem. Like, have Aizawa adopt her or something, you know, like, I don't know.
Yeah, I totally understand the idea of people being worried about her quirk being a threat to other people.
Yep.
Absolutely. But one of the annoying things about kids getting put into the orphanage / foster care kind of system is that they can sometimes end up accidentally being treated like property than people. And one of the annoying things is that, like, in that case, it's like, then the system owns you. And in this case, she might be considered a
research subject.
Well, no, I'm saying more of just in the immediate sense, a security risk.
Oh, sure.
So it's not whether or not it's a thing of like, oh no, she's a danger to others. It's that, but we don't want to be held responsible for the damage she does to other people. What? Since when did that become? You see, this is where I think, if anything, they're going to focus the arc on is the custody of Eri being a thing of where it's like, okay, who's going to be taking care of her?
Right.
You know what I would love to see?
Yeah.
I would love to see All Might, the babysitter.
Wait a minute.
Can you see it right now?
Wait a minute. No. Okay. Yes.
Can you see it?
Now, they would never do this. They would never ever do this. I wouldn't want them to do this. But if All Might is the babysitter, then that also means that there could be some freak accident where All Might gets his powers back. I wouldn't want that to happen. I wouldn't want that to happen. But All Might is the babysitter would be wonderful. One of the other things they could do is that by basically, because there were a few things that popped into my mind. One is that they kind of brush it under the rug that this isn't the saving the person's heart, so that they can be like, this research has already been done. Let's just make more of these bullets. Whatever, we can use them against villains, you know, and then go down that route. Or potentially more likely is that no, that is the next arc.
Sure.
Like, it's no, you can't just quarantine this girl. She didn't do anything wrong. Like, you know, we got to fix this, and then it's the, well, yeah, but this is what the system says.
Let's save the heart of Eri-chan. That would be amazing.
That would be fantastic.
I would love, in some ways, a little bit of an actual breather arc where it's not based in, like, I hate to say this, but battle school stuff. I would love a breather arc that is focused on the characters just figuring out a little bit of the craziness of life, talking and engaging in little activities that don't have to do with battle school,
right? And
just figuring out that have school stuff, absolutely, but have it be a thing where Deku, Uraraka, Kirishima, and freaking Miss Ribbit. I'm an idiot. I feel so bad. Tsuyu. I'm sorry. I'm emotional right now. I forgot your name. But they all just go and visit Eri.
Oh yeah,
and just
that would be fantastic.
Like, hello, like,
right, because
maybe they won't be allowed to, but
and there might, like, I mean, okay, maybe because they're kids they wouldn't be allowed to, but like you could still have things where people maybe visit, and then it's like since they know that she can only affect people, I think that helps a lot.
It does.
Because if she could affect objects, there's no way you can contain her. The world is at risk. Like, yeah, it's just bad all around. It's just bad.
Yeah.
Whereas in this situation, they could potentially have people where it's like, you realize that the risk that this involves.
Right.
And then maybe they could let people see her, and then that's where the process can start. And that's how they could potentially leave it off and say, this is something that is happening, even if it's not the main focus of the story anymore, because she's not truly in quarantine. She's like in quarantine / like recovery therapy kind of a thing.
Right, they have people talking to her and actually engaging with her.
And the prospect still exists that she could theoretically use her quirk on herself, potentially even with one of the bullets if they got it back. They don't have them right now, so there's that. But, because since they went the route of her quirk, she can't control it, and we can't really have her practice because that involves people, which is a great point of conflict, then that seems like they're going the route of not of acceptance and learning to, embrace the side of her and make it not be a problem, but rather that it might be something that needs to be shed so that she can be free, right? I don't know how that would work.
Again, I think they literally are going to do this now because of the bullets being gone. They're going to do this the long and hard way. There is no easy solution here.
Yeah.
She just has to live.
Yep.
She can't shed herself from it. That would be, I would say that
unless
would be
she could somehow use her quirk on herself without some external thing.
I just feel like the idea of shedding it is antithetical to literally everything that the heroes have been fighting for.
Yep, I agree.
This whole bit here. If anything, the heroes will sacrifice aspects of themselves in order to save others.
Sure.
But that is something that they choose to do. It is not something that you...
And you certainly wouldn't want
taken away from you,
right? And you certainly wouldn't want a kid in this kind of vulnerable state and everything to be like, "Do you want to sacrifice part of yourself?" And you definitely want to give this up, right? Because that'll make your life easier because you know what to do in this situation, right? You've got a clear head, right?
Yeah, that's actually something that could be really dark, because we find out that there's some not well looked on medical procedures that are out there.
Oh.
And it's like
straight up X-Men 3 of like, do you want to sign up to get your,
Yeah, and it's not even that it'll actually work.
Uh-huh.
But it's the idea of like, I mean, for your own well-being, like, we gotta try, right? And the idea that they would put this little girl through that kind of same thing that would send her probably back into the trauma and everything with her.
Yep.
Not father. So, yeah. I would say, for now, I want goodest boys and goodest girls and goodest everyone, just people around Eri, just giving her all that love. So people like Mirio.
Yeah.
I want Mirio to just give her a big hug. Like, he's not worried in the slightest.
Yep. Or maybe Mirio and Aizawa take her on a field trip to like some open space. Aizawa stands back with some binoculars and she practices, and he just, uses his quirk through the binoculars on her if it ever gets bad.
Aizawa, the babysitter, I didn't even think about, but now I'm thinking about a little joke that involves a missed joke.
Oh.
And Aizawa... being like...
The fan fiction writes itself.
Yes. I almost want to just be like...
fiction.
I just want to be like, picture it. Aizawa, misjoke, Eri.
Yep.
Go for it. I don't even need to tell you, like...
and Aizawa has a collection of, like, 5 cats that are just constantly, like, crawling around and stuff that Eri can play with and everything and whatnot. And yep.
I mean, Dadzawa is a thing.
Oh, yeah.
It is.
Yep.
Okay. I gotta say, I am really, really glad, though, that this arc is, like, actually like one that ended with consequences, like actual legitimate like consequences here. And I love the character of Mirio. I absolutely do. But one of the things that I've been wanting them to go into and focus on is All Might being someone that is quirkless. What does he do now in his regular life?
Yep.
And to be fair, he hasn't had as much reason to be focused on because of this arc of story.
Totally makes sense.
It makes sense. If anything, one of my favorite quirkless moments with him was when he went to go see Deku's mom. We all know why.
Yep.
But now that we have 2 main characters that are in this state, maybe they could even do stuff together.
Yeah.
Maybe they could be a hero kind of duo of sorts. Maybe
awesome.
Even Mirio will end up finding ways to be, to be someone that helps the heroes in some way, shape, or manner.
Yeah.
Like, he's still in school. He's still got a lot he can do.
And
he also is the one that held off Overhaul and all them for 15 minutes.
5 of which was with no quirk. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's insane. That is absolutely insane.
So,
Yep.
Yeah. I want to see how Mirio smiles and still cracks jokes despite losing his quirk, but also that this still hurts him. And in some ways, it hurts people like Nejire and Tamaki more.
Oh yeah,
because their leader, their goodest boy, their Tintin, just going forth plus ultra isn't as doesn't have the same Lemillion type energy.
Yep.
So I feel like I won't even be able to wear this sweater in like future stuff. I feel like I should switch back to the Deku muscle shirt now.
Oh man.
Maybe I'll just wear it in honor of him. Especially if in the next episode we gave it the slightest Mirio focus. I got to. But yeah. Anyhow,
this does make me wonder though.
What?
How the hell did Best Genus survive? Because Night Eye had that thing that was stuck in there to stop the bleeding for a long time, right? Like, what do you do about a hole that's an open hole? Not as big, granted.
I think Best Genus was, like, recovered by heroes within, like, 20 minutes.
He stitched himself back together. No, I think did he lose his quirk?
No. Actually, that's a good point. No, of course not. Because All For One made the whole point of, like,
right.
you wouldn't want your
Oh yeah.
No. If anything, I think you're right. Best Genist, I think, is the kind of person who would probably have been able to stitch himself up just a little bit.
Right.
But yeah, I am glad that, in a dark way, yes, I am glad that now death is being something that the wall has been breached on both sides, both heroes and villains.
And that's very important. That is very important.
Yeah.
Because having the bad guys die, it's like, okay, cool. Yeah, that's just, we don't have to worry about them and they're not thrown into a prison, right?
If anything, it cheapens them a little bit because they're like, I see now. The villains aren't even characters at all. We can just kill them off.
Yeah, that's the same as resolving them, right?
Yeah.
But having that for heroes is a very different thing. Now, granted, they still haven't killed off any of the kids.
That is important. Probably a marketing thing.
That is very important.
Yeah.
But they did the closest thing with Mirio. And as soon as he's out of high school, but
I don't think that applies with MHA.
No.
I don't think that applies at all.
No. But Night Eye's gone. Night Eye's gone. A named important hero is dead.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, y'all. Season 4. First half. Completed. Yeah. I would say that this is probably the point where they would switch to a new OP because the first episode might not be counted, and then they have 24 episodes of usual show content or what have you. So that this would be episode 12 equivalent or episode 13 equivalent. Actually, that's a good point.
Well, yeah. Here's one thing: if the next arc is the equivalent of like, now we need to save Aries' heart, that would be a reason why they could keep the opening because it's still relevant. If they don't, then it's not, and you kind of do need to change it. But because the opening is so focused around Aries, especially at the end,
what if we already have crossed the 50% kind of threshold?
I mean, we kind of have.
I know, but like, what if this is already proof that it's going to stay the same because the next arc is still about Aries?
It could be, but we won't know for sure because they were still dealing with the stuff in this arc.
So y'all, that's it. Thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. We've got some stuff to still look forward to with Aerie, hopefully. And next episodes. If you want to see that next episode's reaction and discussion right now, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get on early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there. And all this comes with Discord access. So you can chat with us and the community there about this show, about anime in general, all kinds of other stories like Jacob's novel that he wrote.
Yes, I wrote a sci-fi novel and it's really cool and it's called Battle Lines and it's on Amazon if you want to get it. The link's in the description down below. It is in both hardback and ebook, so whichever one works best for you. Go check it out.
Yeah, so if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.